Call the June the 12th, 2025 Budget Committee meeting to order. I would ask that all commissioners, everyone in the room, please silence your phone. Commissioners, please turn your mics on. This time, is there any visitors wishing to address this committee at this time? Seeing none, we will carry on. I will say I appreciate everyone being here. I know it's been a hectic time, quite a few meetings, so I appreciate everyone being here. Go to number 3, old business. We have none. We will move into 4, new business. A, we will start with 1, the approval of the General Fund 101 total budget. Mr. Mayor.
All right, we'll get started. Tonight we'll be going through everything that has been approved to this point. And at this time, as we go down the list, it'll be motion to approve and second and vote up or down. And I advise any and all discussion needed. If there's any loose ends, we want to tie this up. Our goal tonight is to move forward and be prepared to have the budget finalized next Thursday, June 26th. Okay. So item 1, or A1, the approval of the general fund as presented. That total budget of our general fund budget is with the addition of 5.5 million 41,141 in anticipated property tax revenue. That is the budget as presented. Any questions?
I have one, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Mayor, please.
Yes.
I didn't mean to sidestep you, sir. First question. I noticed that says increased revenue. Can we get a breakdown of that as to what it's going to be is my first question?
Sure, it's already in your budget right there. Everything that has been voted on is right there as far as that 5.41 and the increases. Yes, ma'am.
Let me clarify my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Evidently, I didn't communicate, and I apologize. That's my fault. That 5.51 increase, can we get a breakdown of where that's coming from?
That breakdown right there, that will come from a property tax increase if this body so approves. Right now, we can pass this budget right now just using general fund. You can, as I explained very much in the very first overview, that we have the opportunity, you can do that, but it's only one time. It's a business model that will not sustain. You can do it one time. Local government finance, the comptroller's office will have a heyday with that because we're using that for recurring expenses. Of this increase, there is so much to be discussed is where this increase came from. You know, if you want me to elaborate, I can start.
Please elaborate, because I'd like to understand.
Well, you've been a commissioner for a few years. You should understand that we've increased salaries. That number 1 of your budget, 85% of your budget, most oftentimes is wages and compensation. So this body, by majority vote, recently added 10% to corrections officers, 7% across the board. There's part of your salary, or that's part of your increase. Let me go through Also, we're funding to subsidize ourselves. Well, let me back up, if you will. Since 2021, I'm going to give you some figures since 2021 where we're at. We have raised $6.3 million in revenue since 2021. But in that same time, our expenses have increased now to $10.5 million. That's as of this fiscal year, this year, not including the increases this year. in that, you know, we have to subsidize our self-insurance fund, $1.3 million. This year, tipping fees are going up. That's at least a minimum of $300,000. Insurance has gone up year after year. This year, it was a 13% increase, operational cost. Costs that we can't hide from. These are real costs. And then we've added COLAs each year, recurring costs that you can't hide from recurring costs. So new departments, probation services, we've added $326,000. Courtroom security, they've asked for 4 positions, that's $683,000. Sheriff's Department salaries and benefits, including 23 SROs, that's $2.6 million in increases. Jail salaries and benefits, 49 positions since 2021, $4.4 million. Circuit Court, 13 positions, 15 now, and it'll take us $314,000. 3 full-time and 2 part-time judicial commissioners, $212,000, plus COLAs. There's where your increases are, that we have, those are recurring costs that we have no choice in.
Mayor Shaw, I didn't clarify my question about where you're going. So let me clarify, because I didn't do a good job, and I apologize to you for my ignorance and not communicating correctly. But what are you basing this increase on? What amount are you basing it on?
Ma'am, we don't have the money to pay for what is in front of us.
Now, wait a minute. The number is what I'm looking for. What are you basing, to get the total you have here, what number did you multiply by?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, I'm confused.
let's, Amanda,
Can I borrow your microphone?
Please, so we can hear.
So, and then what I did, when I got down to the end of the budget, is after everything that's been voted on this year, as far as increases, I took our expenses, the amount of expenses over our revenue, and then I backed out the amount of capital items. So, our capital items in the general fund this year are $1.246 million. Because we can use fund balance for that.
I understand.
Okay, so that difference then is $5.5 million.
But that, let me ask you a direct question. That is what you think the increase in property taxes is going to be, correct?
You would have to have $5.5 million in revenue to come up with what the deficit is.
Okay.
So we can't get additional litigation tax, or we can't get, there's property tax is all we can adjust. So in order to balance the budget, take care of this deficit, you will need that much money.
Did you base it on a particular number, is my question?
I'll get to that.
Right.
Okay, let me pop another question at you while you're doing that, because I had the pleasure of attending the school board meeting the other night. And the way I understand this, if we have an increase, the school board has an increase, which means on top of the maintenance of effort, the $600,000 that they voted to give them, there'll be additional property taxes there as well.
No, has nothing to do with the school system. I don't know exactly what you heard, but we have a resolution tonight to give them a one-time deal. It has nothing to do with any other compensation.
I understand that, but do they not still get property taxes, part of the property taxes, or?
It's how it's allocated.
Let me clarify my question, if you please. When Mr. Britton, and he called it swapping buckets, if my memory serves me correctly, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I was thinking he swapped property tax out for sales tax, but I was thinking there was still some property tax there.
That is correct.
Okay, so if we have increase in revenue from property tax, the school will too.
We're not allocating any more to the school system.
That wasn't what I asked.
That's what I'm saying. We are not allocating any more to the school system in our property tax. Their basis is the same as it was. We're not increasing the funding for this school
I
system.
understand we're not increasing, but if we get increased property taxes, they'll have increased as well from what I read.
I'm going to say it again. We are not increasing the school system.
I understood what you said. I know you're not increasing, but per se, what they get, that it will be more. But, and then one more question for you, and I guess I might not get this one, I can, and you, Amanda, either one. I know that you want to have this done by June 30th, but is there a law on the?
June
Okay,
26th.
thank you for correcting me. Is there a law on the books by law, state law, that we have to have it done before August, before we get, I'm sorry, give me just a moment, please, if you please. Is there a law on the books that we cannot wait till we have the certified rate to know exactly what we are dealing with?
Yes, ma'am. There is not a law, and you can wait to that. And as I've said before, your budget is your budget. Is it going to matter what the certified rate is as to if you're past this budget? It does not. It does not matter. Are you going to fund these measures or not? Does it matter what the certified rate is? The point is, which department are you going to cut if you don't want to fund it? Which employee do you want to cut if you don't want to fund it? We're at a point that we do not have the revenue to sustain what's before you. This body voted on some things that are recurring expenses. Therefore, it's just like Commissioner Harmon. I was not here, but I checked in the very next day, actually that evening, and his proposal to move wheel tax over the road. That corrects something this body's wanted to do for some time. Put all wheel tax toward the roads. That's going to take a measure to replace that in property tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The
Just
general fund, I understand that part.
yes, yeah, it will definitely have to be replaced. We can't go on without it. But that said, these costs have to be fixed. We need to balance that budget.
We could have cut, there was some things in our nonprofit we could have cut.
Yes, ma'am, you probably could have.
There was, and we should.
And you have that opportunity
And we
even now.
should be good stewards.
You have that opportunity. And you have that opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other questions?
Please speak up. I want everybody to understand where we're at. I don't mind talking about it. We can discuss this for however long you want.
When you get down to that, there is one more item in the estimated revenues that I've asked a question, I still don't know what it is. You've got total estimated from other sources down at the bottom of $150,000. What is that? And I'm on page 2. I apologize, sir. I should have clarified.
It's the money that the Hamblen gives to the general fund that Hamblen for.
It's the money that,
Oh, that's the fee base. That's collected from licensing permits, total fines. That is the total from that. If you'll look right there, it's described right above you what that is. $23 million from local taxes, total licensing permits, $355,000. That is the total of that, is what that is. The total estimated revenues and other sources.
Mr. Mayor, I think she's talking about $150,000 from the opioid money.
Is that where?
That's
Is
the
that right?
figure I'm talking about. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
So
well, yeah,
please
that is
clarify.
from the opioid abatement committee, yes.
So
I believe
which
that's correct.
fund is that coming from?
Excuse me?
Which fund is that coming from?
Opioid abatement money,
128.
is that the fund within that? That would probably be the endo fund, which is unrestricted, if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
128.
Baby doe.
Any other questions? Ms. Howe, did you have one?
Yes, sir, thank you. I guess I understand what you're saying. We don't really know about the rate. When will we know the rate?
We may know as early, within the next 10 days, we may know. I'm going to give you an estimation later tonight. I'm going to give you an estimation that we think it may be, but the issue with giving an estimation is that you're going to hold me to that, and I can't be held to that. That's the issue right there, because we don't have the certified rate. But I can give you an estimation of what we think it might be. And that's just from figures that's been provided to us.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Would you elaborate, last year we were $4 million in the red.
Exactly. We started last year's budget, or we passed last year's budget with a $4 million deficit. At the end of the year, I mean, how much was it actually? It just like $620,000 deficit instead of $4 million. The difference is we did not open up the new facility. We didn't incur some real cost as far as utilities and compensation for these things. Therefore, we did not sustain the actual 4 million. Now, this coming year, we do expect to sustain. Now that, to sustain these costs, we expect the facility to open up. We've got more employees to hire. We've got other things going on, but when you think about the insurance costs going up 13% this year over liability and workman's comp, adding new employees, those are the costs that this year I feel that we will sustain. Will we sustain all of it? That's yet to be seen. But we're currently starting this budget cycle with a $5.5 million deficit. At the end of the year, it may not be that, but I'd rather be on that end telling you this up front than it be the other way. Not tell you and we have it.
Any other questions?
One, if he doesn't care, he mentioned
Yes.
our liability insurance. Is our risk management going up as well?
That is risk management, and that's liability.
Mr. Carden?
Just on the jail thing, is the fees or the expenses related, are they for the whole year? Are they prorated?
We are, yes, our budget is for the entire year. Yes. Right now, our substantial completion date is July 31st. I mean,
It's not me.
right now, July 31st. If that were to be delayed anymore, any day that it doesn't open is a catch-22. Any day it doesn't open, we save some money. But we need to go ahead and get started.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
First by Mr. Holmes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Is there any more discussion? Do a roll call, please.
Okay. Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
No.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker,
Yes.
12 yes, 1 no, 1 abstained.
Motion carries. We'll move on to number 2, Mr. Mayor.
Number 2, the approval of sanitation fund 116, the total budget with the addition of $200,000 in anticipated property tax revenue to balance the budget for fiscal year 25-26. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I'm hunting the sanitation one, so bear with me just a moment. When I looked through that, I had just a couple of questions where it was broke out, and ever who did it, thank you, because you made it easier for me to look at after we attended the road commission meeting the other night. I noticed the totals as far as the asphalt and all that. That's to the end.
Ma'am, we're on sanitation.
My apologies. My apologies,
Is
sir.
there any other questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Thomas Doty,
Second.
second by Mr. Harville. Any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Abstain with cause.
and Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Twelve yes, 2 abstain.
Motion carries. Move on to number 3.
Okay, item 3, A3, approval of Highway Fund 131, the total budget is presented before you. Are there any questions? Leaves a fund balance of $974,000.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Horner. Is any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Abstain with cause.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
12 to 2, motion carries.
Motion carries. Move to number 4.
Okay, item 4, the approval of the Highway Capital Projects Fund 176, the total budget including the addition of $1.7 million in wheel tax revenue that will be from the general fund. Are there any questions?
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Ahern?
Second.
Was that Stan? Second by Mr. Harville. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Abstain with cause.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 abstain. Motion carries.
Motion carries. We'll move to number 5, and we do have 3 there. We will have 3 separate votes on that if you want to start with the first one, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, the approval with no changes that was presented from the general debt fund, fund number 151. Are there any questions? That fund balance should actually, let's see, I got the right one. Just thinking it increased a little bit, but it one second. There it is. Yes, that fund will slightly increase.
Is there any questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Doty,
Second.
second by Mr. Hall. Is there any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
13 and 1 abstain. Motion carries.
Motion carries. Move to debt service fund 154.
As presented again with no changes, special debt service fund is, fund number 154 with no change.
So moved.
First by Mr. Horner,
Second.
second by Mr. Walker. Is there any discussion? Ms. Howe?
Yes, sir, thank you. So remind me about that fund, please, sir. The special debt service fund, remind me.
Pull up my tab, please.
To the second.
You scared me, now you scared nothing.
61, yeah. That's just postponing that,
The other revenues, from other city, maybe help me on that one, I'm not certain exactly which ones that is.
Peggy, that Fund 154 is, county audit had us break out the bonds that were issued for the landfill. So all that is landfill related, so they've got, 2 bonds and a debt payment for a shredder, and it's all in there, and they reimburse us for every bit of principal and interest. It's really just a wash. The fund balance that you see there, like, there's a growth of almost 200,000, and that's the interest we'll collect this year off that money.
You had me at shredder.
You remember we bought that, was it a tire shredder or some kind of
Yes, well,
shredder?
it's a shredder where they put all the debris in the top in a class 3 landfill, and it grinds it out, and grinds the tires, furniture, everything, makes a layer rather than just bulk.
Okay,
Yes,
I had the opportunity to be there 2 days ago, and I did not notice a shredder. But
it's,
you're-
it's all the way in the back, you may not be where it is.
She said, I went hill, 2.5 miles later, I got to class 3.
Okay, okay.
And I thought, holy moly, I didn't know it was there. But I didn't notice, but you're telling me there is one,
Oh, yeah.
and it's plugged in
I've seen, well, it's operation, I have seen it in operation, I sure have.
lately.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chairman, now address
Okay.
that. It's on wheels and you can take it. It's a mobile shredder.
Ah, okay.
On the recycling tire event day that I went and helped work that day, I watched them put them in there and it grinds them up and makes a layer. That's the only way you can landfill a tire is that it's been shredded. And this body voted a couple years ago, I can't remember the exact date, to finance that, which, as Amanda said, it passes through us.
Yes.
We financed it for them. It was like 900,000, I believe, to purchase. And, but it saves landfill space.
I agree, I just, didn't notice it that day. Thank you, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just to add to that, it saved us 10 years on the landfill.
Now, are you saying that one day, or the fact that they are?
No, the fact by shredding the garbage, not putting it in lump sums,
Yes, sir.
it's compacted and we have more years on the,
3 more years.
10 more years than we would have had.
Good to know, thank you.
Is there any other questions? Roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
13-1, motion carries.
Motion carries.
And the final one you have there is your drug fund 122. That again is with no changes.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Ahern? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hahn. Any discussion?
I have a question for the mayor. Please enlighten me about that a little bit further on the drug fund, what all that entails, please.
I can't answer exactly the entire deal, but that is where they, I think, confiscate vehicles and they're sold or, you know, that kind of thing. And they sustain themselves to some point. That budget, any estimated fund balance of 245 could actually be increased or decreased just a little bit. But that is where they operate in their drug enforcement.
Is that, out of curiosity, we passed one of the county officers' trucks not too long ago that had the blue lights, but it had no insignias. Is
The sheriff would have to answer that, but I think that would
I'm
be a
just curious.
detective vehicle.
I'm just
I
curious.
don't think the drug vehicles are lighted or marked.
Okay,
Any other
thank you.
questions? Roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
13-1, motion carries.
Motion carries. We will now move to 4B, Resolution 2514. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we've got a resolution that is presented before you. This body, once again, while I was absent last week, voted to do a one-time, non-recurring a gift, if you will, to the school system of $600,000. And this resolution conveys that. Is there any question?
I have one.
Yes.
And thank you for including the resolution, Ms. Trish. It makes it a lot easier to hunt it down. If I am reading it correctly, and as stated on the front of the agenda, it was for technology.
That is correct.
And if I remember correctly what was said in the meeting,
Yes.
they were going to use it for raises.
That is correct. You are correct. You're right on, Ms. Green.
So, quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can they switch it that way from technology to raises?
I'm
Means
going-
that usually raises is something that reoccurs something down the line.
Are you finished?
Oh, yes, sir.
I didn't want to
Please,
interrupt you.
thank you.
So here's the deal. Because it's a one-time recurring gift or added to their budget, they cannot take a one-time gift and use it for recurring costs such as expenses for salaries. Therefore, this money is switched for accounting measures and it goes into their technology budget, bucket or whatever you want to say, and therefore it takes $600 out that they've already got in their technology budget and goes over to recurring expenses. It's basically an accounting move to make it right with the state that we're giving them this. And now they're therefore they are using it for salaries.
So let me see if I understand you. They're swapping buckets like Mayor Britton used to talk to us about.
No, it's a little different than what Mayor Britton did, but we gave them $600. They can't use it because it's non-recurring. They cannot use it for salaries. It's non-recurring. It's a one-time gift. We give it to them. They're putting it in their technology bucket, and they're taking $600 out and moving over here to their salary line. Is that correct, Jerry?
Do we have any idea how much the increase in property taxes is going to give the school systems?
It's giving them none. I'm confused at that.
I
Maybe
think
we'll-
I'm pretty well right, but I'll double check.
We'll figure it out. Yes, go ahead,
If I
John.
may, Mr. Mayor, just a quick, this is my understanding, and it may clear up a lot, is we set a set amount that we give the school system. Maintenance of effort, we exceed what state requires, but we don't say they get X pennies of property tax to fund their budget. We say they get X dollar amount. Then we, as a group, say this is where we're gonna get it from. It's not that they get so many pennies from it. They get a flat amount,
That's correct.
In
and
the,
if we get an increase, they get no increase.
in the past, in 2007, when they passed that, and that was the year of Pick Your Poison, if I remember correctly, they designated so much of the property tax to go to the school system to take
They
care of it at that
designated,
time.
they designated that was where they were going to allocate the money from, was from X amount. There's not a set penny amount
To the
of
schools.
property tax that goes to the school system.
Yeah, I'll go back and
This
look
is,
at it. Thank you.
this is not like sales tax, Commissioner Green, where they get so much and we get so much. That's not how it's set up.
Well, in the past, Mayor Britton swapped the property tax for
You're
sales
on a
tax.
different level, and we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But that is not what this is.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes?
Amanda would like to
I would
address.
like to speak, please. I'm sorry. So if you look at the school's budget, the one they presented, in their current property taxes, they're anticipating this budget, they will receive $7,776,000 in property taxes. And if you look, that's our maintenance of effort, that amount, $7,776,000. So whenever our new property tax rate comes in, we will take our assessments, and we'll know what a penny will bring in. So we'll take $7,776,000 and divide it by what a penny brings in. And that's how many pennies the school system will get. So they're not gonna get any, their percentage, right now, they get 27% of the inside tax rate. They'll still get 27%. It'll be a different rate, but it'll still be 27%. And it'll be the pennies that they need to make up to the maintenance of effort, no more.
So they won't go past the maintenance of effort either way.
No, ma'am.
I know we're well past what the state mandates, so thank you, Ms. Amanda.
As I said, no increase to the school budget. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any other questions?
On the resolution.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Mr. Harrell, second by Mr. Richardson. Is there any other questions? Roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
13-1, motion carries.
Motion carries.
Okay.
We will move on to 4C. Mr.
Yes.
Mayor.
All right, discussion on the public hearing. So that will be needed due to the county exceeding the certified tax rate. So I want this to be a discussion. I want each and every one here to understand what's before us. There's a lot of information. First, I'd like to thank Finance Director Amanda, the work that she's diligently put in since March. Not just her, but the department. There's been a lot going on here when a lot of numbers started coming in, and you look under the hood and you see what's coming. You didn't realize it. You didn't realize it. So in the past 4 years, 5 years, since 2020, 2021, what we've done is move pennies. We've moved pennies from the school system property tax to here and replaced it with sales tax. We've done that year after year. In fact, 23 pennies from the school system to the general fund over the last 4 or 5 years. 23 pennies. We came up with $4 million. And on top of that, another, hold on. I can't remember, it was several more pennies that we moved and put into general debt service. So that's how we made it to this point. And the last tax increase we had was in 2020. That was a 3-cent tax increase. This so happens that was a reassessment year that year as well. And we did the same process. But that said, the pennies are gone. There's no more pennies to move. Our revenues are flat. I'm not going to tell you that they won't increase a little bit. We've had some growth. There'll be some. We just don't know. We can't bank on that. Therefore, there's no more pennies to move. And there's no more plan around with that formula. I think we're at the end of the road as far as that goes. And what we've got here is, if you will, a perfect storm. We've got wages, salary studies, all of it hitting at one time. We've got new employees that we've had to bring about. And that's brought us to where we're at. Again, our revenues have increased by $6 million since 2021. But our expenses have also increased by $10.5 million. We've been able to sustain that entire time without just one increase of 3 cents. Now it's time to look at a new model. We've done as far as we can. We have a public hearing scheduled June the 26th before our county commission meeting. Or during, it's part of our county commission meeting, but we'll have a public hearing that'll have 2 different parts in that meeting where we discuss exceeding the certified tax rate and the fiscal budget. That's the public hearing. That'll be anybody's time to come and voice their opinion as far as where we're at. But that'll be during our on the 26th meeting, our commission meeting that day. We'll send out our public notice tomorrow. As far as the intent of this body, by the vote of this budget committee, the intent is that we will need to exceed that certified rate. We will be letting our state folks know that we expect that to be increased. That's all in due process. Is that correct, Amanda? Yes. But that said, there's a lot of unknowns out there that, as Commissioner Green pointed out, we don't know the rate. And I can give you an idea. But I'm telling you right now, I can't be held accountable because we don't have the quote-unquote certified rate. But right now, with the total assessed value in our county at $2.8 million, $2.8 billion, that's up over $1 billion from 5 years ago. $1 billion. You divide that and you work down what we think a penny is going to be worth. Everybody know what a penny's worth right now? $162,000. 1 cent is worth $162,000. We think a penny may be worth $274,000. That's what we think. Now, I cannot comment. This is rough figuring of what we see the assessed value and going through the formula. Until we get that certified rate from the state, we do not know these final figures. But that said, your budget, this budget committee has passed, and we recognize the need to extend above the certified rate. Now, is there any questions?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have, we're building quite a few new homes below us.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I should have spoken to it. I apologize to you. I know that they have built quite a few new homes below me. So do we have any
Quite a few homes for what?
new homes? I know they built quite a few new homes below me. So do you have any idea what and I'm trying to think of the proper term to ask, but new constructions, new homes, new revenue, do you have any idea what kind of figure we are looking at for that?
No, ma'am, and as far as new homes, I don't know that figure, but anything that is being already moved into before, I can't remember the assessment period, anything after that assessment period is new growth. Anything before that was included in this year and in what we expect our revenues to be. So I do not know that. I don't know that answer. I don't know how to tell you. Yeah, there's new homes around, but most of them were included in this year's assessment.
Do you have a new growth figure that you can share with us?
I don't. I do not have that.
We,
We'll, thank you, Ms. Manning.
Approximately $1 million in increased revenue, but that's in that property tax line already. I'm anticipating $1 million in growth revenue
Okay.
in that.
Okay, so it's already in there. Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions?
Please discuss.
Make a comment that with the increased growth, there's also increased costs associated with that growth. So, you know, our infrastructure is going to have to grow. So it's not just a neutral or a positive growth. It's offsetting penalties, if you will. School roads, trash.
And as Mr. Holmes said the other night, there's none of us that have not sat here in our households and experienced more cost. And it's just the world that we live in. So I think that Hamblen County in the past has been a county that most people would want to come and live in. It's because of the services and the low tax rate that we do, you know, provide these citizens. And so we knew this was coming. And, you know, nobody wants those dreaded words of a tax increase, but if we want the services and paying for all the added costs and the increase, then that's something that we're going to have to do.
So to give you an idea, if you're looking at $5.5 million, if you want to balance that budget, it'll take 21 pennies. Now that said, our certified tax rate, we expect to still be the lowest in any county in East Tennessee. And I say East Tennessee, let me say in our area, in the northeast. I don't know about below us like Monroe County down. I don't know theirs. But anybody from Bluff County, Knox County, through the northeast, we are the lowest taxed county around. Now, does that make it easier to swallow? Probably not. But I want you to understand that we will still be the lowest tax rate around. Even with, if you were to choose to increase it, it ended up being 21 cents. And that's the balanced budget. And let me clarify one thing. It actually doesn't balance the budget. We're still 1.2 deficit at 21 cents. We are dipping in fund balance by $1.2 million to cover some capital expenses, including the school system that this body voted to give. That's where that's coming from. The 21 cents, we're trying to be conservative in that. That we may have some other revenues come in, we may exceed revenues. Therefore, you know, that's why we're stopping there. But there's next year. Cost of living increases. Actual utility costs. Big Oak Tree Plaza, when it opens up in the health department. Insurance. So those are things to consider. We're about, if you do that this year, we've got another year in front of it. So there's a lot to consider here in how you want to approach this. It's up to this body how you want to do that. But that's the numbers that are in front of you.
You do have the 1.2 capital that's coming out of fund balance in your packet tonight if you want to turn over there and look at it if you've not looked at it. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hyde?
Yes, sir, thank you. It's going to be a little bit of a hard sell to go from 3 cents to 21 and possibly 24. But it would be nice to know if you paid $100 in your tax, then this, you're gonna pay $123, I guess, to have some kind of an example that.
Okay, if you want a quick example, and this, again, folks, these are strictly estimates. These are not, please, you can't hold these to me. Because we don't have the actual figure. All right, so let's take a $300,000 home. If you own a $300,000 home, your increase will be somewhere around $150 to $200 a year. So $12 a month, thereabouts.
Quick question, sir. Now, I hate to stop you, but being you brought a figure, and I know, just an estimate. But now, for the folks, and I have several in my district that are on what I call the rebate or property tax break for older folks that are on limited funds. Will that help anyway with that besides the one they get now? I mean, will there be anything built in to help them further?
I can't, I would be wrong to answer that because I don't know the bottom answer. The trustee's office would have to answer that one for you. I do know there is something available there, but I do not know the ins and outs of that.
Is there anything this body needs to do as far as voting on that?
No, sir. Chairman, what this is letting you know that we will have a public hearing as part of our county commission meeting next Thursday. And during that public hearing, we're going to have two parts over the certified, exceeding the certified tax rate, and then the actual budget itself. Excuse me? On the 26th budget, yes. And then we'll go in to adopt it, or not. I just remind you, that this body has voted to exceed. Now we gotta answer the question.
Is there any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Mayor, very much. I'll go to items of interest, as he mentioned, Thursday, June the 26th, 2025, we'll meet in the courthouse here at 5 o'clock. And it'll be to adopt a budget, including tax levy resolution, corporation resolution, and resolution making appropriations to nonprofits and charitable organizations. Is all minds clear?
One comment,
And the
please,
public
sir.
hearing.
And a public hearing. Excuse me. Ms. Green.
We have been looking at hopefully a proposal that with the advance, the property tax revenue bouncing out all of the county funds. So it's something I'd like at some point to sit down and discuss.
Okay.
Thank you,
No.
sir. I appreciate it.
Dismissed.